Welcome to the Akashic Library.
So let me ask you something. Do you think you can completely, totally reinvent your life in just 1 year? I'm talking about going from absolute despair to living your dream. Well, today we're going to break down a really powerful personal story from someone who says it's not just possible, it actually happened to her. Okay, let's get into it.
Just look at this. It's night and day. On one side, you have a life that's just defined by serious financial struggle, feeling lost, being scared. And on the other, a life with purpose, fulfillment, helping people. This is the exact same person, just 12 months apart. So the big question is, how on earth do you make a leap that big, that fast?
To really understand a change this massive, you have to go back to the beginning. And for her, the beginning was a place she calls rock bottom. So let's really break down what that looked like, and more importantly, what it felt like for her. It all starts with one number, and it is a stark one. $500. That was it. That was her entire monthly income. Just try to imagine for a second the nonstop stress, the feeling of being suffocated by limitations when you're trying to get by on that. It really grounds her story in a very real, very tangible struggle. But, the money problems, that was only scratching the surface. Internally, she was in a state of just complete despair. No purpose, totally lost, terrified of what was next. She felt like she didn't even know who she was anymore, outside of this toxic relationship she was stuck in. It was a crisis of money, identity, and spirit, all hitting at the same time. You know how it is? Every huge life change seems to have a trigger, right? That one moment that finally shoves you off the old path and forces you to look for a new one. For her, that catalyst came when her absolute biggest fear actually happened. And this is what's so fascinating. The one thing she was most afraid of, the relationship ending, became the very thing that set her free. She says it wasn't some casual decision to change. She felt like she had no choice but to find a way to climb out of that hole. The absolute worst-case scenario ended up being the foundation for her best-case scenario. Okay, so hitting rock bottom gives you the push, right? But a push isn't a plan. You need actual tools. So what were the specific, practical things she used to literally rebuild her life from the ground up? Turns out it all boiled down to two key practices. First, meditation, to get that mental clarity. And second, the law of attraction, which for her was all about relentlessly focusing her energy on the future she wanted to create. She says these two things were the keys that unlocked everything else. And this shows us exactly how she did it. This wasn't just passive daydreaming. She talks about intensely, actively visualizing the life she has now while she was meditating. She was building that future in her mind, piece by piece, even when she had no idea it was going to happen so fast. And here's the result, straight from her. The impact wasn't small, it wasn't gradual. She says these tools literally unlocked her potential in the life she had always dreamed of. It was a complete paradigm shift for her, not just some small improvement. All right, so we've seen the low point and the tools she used to get out. Now, let's look at the results. What does the life of my dreams actually look like today? And here we are again, back at that wild side-by-side comparison. But now that we've seen the journey, it actually makes sense. She went from being trapped in a toxic relationship to helping other people, from having zero purpose to loving what she does, and from barely surviving on $500 a month to living her dream. It's a total 180. And for her, this is the real heart of the story. The change wasn't just about escaping a bad situation. The best part, she says, is that now she gets to help people and has found work she genuinely loves. Her dream life isn't just about her own gain, it's about having a purpose that serves other people too. And that, of course, brings us to the final chapter of this incredible 1-year story, because her personal journey has now become her public mission. This is where her story really comes full circle. After finding the tools to get herself out of rock bottom, she's now completely dedicated to sharing them. She's creating content and even offering one-on-one sessions to help other people unlock their own potential. And that really brings us to the final thought here. Her story is just this powerful testament to what's possible in a single year. And it kind of leaves us with this big question to think about. If you found the right tools for your own life, what incredible potential is just sitting there inside you, waiting to be unlocked?
Small shifts in perspective create massive changes in reality. Next, discover how to break free from limiting patterns in Breaking Free from the 9-to-5 Mind.